Hi guys, so I want to do a quick video answering a question about kind of school grades and how to stay motivated. So the first part of the question is, when you're going through a tough class, as you mentioned, how do you stay focused or keep on top of things? So the first thing that I do is that I set up a game plan, which is kind of how I'm going to attack each class. Not every class is going to require the same things out of you. Every class is going to be unique to itself, and it's going to take a different amount of time. So whenever I approach a class, I kind of look at it like, how hard is it going to be? Do I know anything about it? How are things going to go? And within that, I look at the syllabus, kind of how much homework am I going to have, how many assignments, how is the grading broken down, what does the rubric look like, stuff like that. So this semester for me, it was my History 99, then Chinese History, American West, and then my European History class. So the reason why my European History class was like the lowest one in priority was because I took Ancient Civilization last semester. So Russian Revolution, World War I, World War II were still really, really fresh in my mind. And even though we were going into a lot more detail, I kind of knew the general of things and I knew the general dates. So I was just kind of adding more information within those slots, so it wasn't too hard. But as far as my History 99 class, she told us that there was a 40 to 50% fail rate, so I knew that all the homework had to be turned in, and any extra participation points, extra credit points that I could get were going to be perfect, and those were the ones I was going to need to cushion my huge writing assignments. So that's one way that you could look at it. Then the other thing would be adjusting your technique as you go. So I typically do things about the same way generally, but in minor details, I adjust things as I go. This semester, an example would be, so I was writing and I was citing things differently in Chicago style. I've never cited in Chicago style before, so it was a bit complicated, and I realized it was very, very time consuming. It took like an hour to an hour and a half after writing each paper to go back and cite because I was doing footnote and bibliography. So after doing those two papers and realizing that it was taking forever, I realized that as I was going through and pulling quotes and pulling page numbers out, I did the citation. So once I came to do my papers, I kind of just copy and pasted, and it definitely started moving things along a lot faster. So that's a minor adjustment that you would make. Another one would be, let's say you're taking a math class and you haven't taken a math class in years, then you would kind of have in the back of your mind that you might potentially need a tutor. If you feel yourself getting behind or anything like that, then you know that where to go find a tutor and to get a tutor right away, because you know you're going to need it. You know, you haven't had math in a while. It's going to be a fresh new material for you, and you're kind of starting from scratch. So that's one of the things to do. And then also, you know, don't forget to ask for help. I would wander around to my professor's office hours and kind of discuss our assignments and sometimes get some great ideas that I would incorporate into my papers. So it's always just good to like kind of talk things over, have a friend, develop a study group, and things like that are foundations, and those are things that you're starting out to be successful in your class. So the other half of the question is, how do you stay motivated and strive for the best grade possible? Any study tips or things of that sort? So as far as wanting good grades and kind of staying on top of things, I think it's a combination of things for me. Um, I I guess I don't want to say that paying for school is a motivation, but it definitely is. I don't want to waste my money, and I pay for school myself. I don't really get financial aid. So I think that's definitely a motivation. I don't want to waste my money. I definitely don't want to waste my time. So if I'm there, I make sure that I pay attention and that I put effort. But I think that's like the lowest thing that I do. I think that that's kind of a given for me most of the time. If I'm going and I'm going to do something, I am going to put effort and I am going to pay attention, and I'm not going to waste my money. So um, I feel like that's kind of a given. But the other thing about that is that I whenever I encounter a challenge or something is difficult, I don't think it's impossible. And I think that that's a trap that sometimes students fall into, that they think that something is challenging, so they think it's impossible and they get demoralized. But challenging doesn't equal impossible, especially when you're talking about school. I think that when you encounter a challenge in class, it just means it's going to be, you know, time consuming and it's going to take work from you. Like, you're going to have to study, you're going to put effort. So that's kind of how I look at it. I don't think classes are impossible. I just think that they're time consuming and they're going to require effort. So I guess that's one thing that I always think. It's not impossible. I can do it. I just have to work a little harder and take a little bit more time. Then the other thing that kind of comes with that is that I don't believe that I or anybody or any of you for that matter lack the ability or the intelligence to be successful. I think that one of the reasons for that is that you guys are looking at videos, not just my videos, but hopefully other people's videos as well. And you guys are getting tips that on school and how to improve yourself and be a better student. And I think that definitely reflects something on you, that you're interested and you want to grow and you want to be better academically. So I think that that definitely reflects back on you and shows that you have initiative. So I'm sure that you guys are all smart and you guys all have the ability and you guys can all get excellent grades in school. So there's no doubt in my mind about that, and I feel like that about myself. I don't think, oh, I'm too dumb for this class, or I'm too stupid, or I'm too anything to do well in this class. It's just going to take maybe a little bit more work, or me studying it a few different ways, or maybe getting a tutor or a study group or something like that, or extra help. But that's all it's going to take. It's not impossible. I can accomplish it. I can finish it. I can overcome this challenge, or rise to the occasion, or whatever you want to call it. So I think that's the second part of it. And then the third part of it is really the fact that I know that this is an opportunity. Like I said in my high school tips video, that was my chance to be creative. I had the time to take electives and take art and ceramics, and I worked with bath styles, and I was in choir, and I got to do a ton of things that honestly now I don't have the time to do. I still love art and I still love ceramics and I would love to work with that, but I just don't have the time. School takes up a huge chunk of my time. So it's the same thing. I'm in school now, and this is my one opportunity to study Shakespeare for a month and analyze it and think of it critically and look at the language and the time period and what was he trying to say, and kind of just break it down piece by piece and really understand it and see what it means to me, what's my interpretation, what am I thinking about it, and kind of really meshing those two things together and developing something out of that. It's the same thing with the papers that I wrote this semester, like the one on John Collingwood or John Hartfield. What was his art? I got to look at wonderful pieces of his and look at the time period and how they were connected historically and what he was trying to say and what I thought he was trying to say and how did that connect with what was going on in that time period and what does that mean? What did that do? What impact did that have? So I think this is your one time that you're going to have to study things like this. I think after you graduate, a lot of you and a lot of us are going to have jobs and we're going to try to make money and attempt to be successful at that, but successful at that. But how often are you going to study and read 20 books and do research for 40 hours and learn how to do research and kind of know your way around a library and get to know the librarians and stuff like that? It's not going to be that often, and this is your one opportunity to do that. So that's how I look at it. That's kind of how I really stay motivated and kind of manage to get good grades. I don't think that they're above my reach. I think a C is average. I don't see why there's any reason why any of you should not be getting a C or should be doing better than a C. I don't doubt any of you guys' ability or intelligence in any way. And then the other thing, and I guess this is really the last thing for me, is that I love school. And I genuinely feel that it's great. Like, every semester, I'm always amazed at how much more I managed to accomplish. Um, Last semester I thought was hard. I kind of moved out of my element with that major science class, and I feel like it took so much of my time I didn't even get to enjoy my other classes, but I did it. It was like my Everest, I guess. And I finished it, and I know that if I had taken that class before, I genuinely feel like I would have changed my mind and been a bio major, because I got to appreciate that science in a completely different light. And yes, it was really challenging, and I finished it, but then I got to appreciate it as well. And I think this semester was the same thing. I kind of inched my way along step by step, being challenged and being stressed out and being all of those things, and kind of working hard and just crawling my way along, finishing the little bits and pieces that I needed to finish. And now I've gotten my grades, and they were good grades, and I did a good job, and I learned a ton. I think my writing has definitely improved a lot. I think I have a better understanding of the major that I've gone into, and I think next semester and the subsequent semesters, thinking that I'm inching my way towards accomplishing and being what I want to be and being a historian and being able to write and be at that level is definitely something that I'm looking forward to. So I think you should also congratulate yourself every semester, A, for finishing, B, for getting good grades, and I think third, for growing in general. I think every semester for me has been a challenge. I don't think I've had an easy semester, and every semester I seem to finish, I seem to make it, and I seem to just be getting a lot better. So if your grades are not up to par, or you feel like you could have done better, you're definitely progressing, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are, and you're getting a lot better, and I'm sure that you're learning a lot. So I don't think you should be discouraged. Like I said, every semester definitely poses a new challenge, and I definitely don't try to take it easy. Next semester, I'm taking one extra class, and I'm I've already looked at the books, and I'm gonna start reading a few in a few weeks, even though my semester doesn't start till the end of January, just so that I can kind of get started on things. So I hope that helps, and I hope I didn't rant too much. I tend to rant once I get into talking about school. But again, I'm sure you guys all have the ability and are intelligent enough to do it. I know you guys can all do it. School is not impossible. It's just time consuming and challenging. That's the only thing that it is. But kind of stay in the moment, but try to gain perspective, because I know you have to focus at the task at hand, but know that you will finish. You know, there is an end to the semester, and that you hopefully will manage to finish successfully and be proud of yourself after. So I hope this helps, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.